the desired location. However, up in that nest, you can control Railgun. We're going to kick it off with Snipe Down from Evil Geniuses.
Right, I'm really excited to see EG starting strat here. You have the really experienced team going up against the newer and up-and-coming team, so you definitely expect the EG squad to have that better opening strat.
Now, Snipe Down's doing a great job, not only capturing basement, but also denying camo from the Dream Team squad. I can't see if any member actually got away with it. It looks like camo was most likely burnt, so we'll try to pay attention to that as it spawns 2 minutes after it was last picked up, which was about the 11:45 mark.
Absolutely, and then just take a look at Snipe Down's rotations on the map here. He was controlling hill, watching camo, nading on the sniper spawn, as well as running and grabbing these splinter nades before ultimately rotating over to carbine side. Just a mark of a very talented player, somebody that is using every spot on the map, helping his teammates constantly, and making sure you use weapons and nades.
Just doing it all, and as you see, it's almost like he hasn't moved too far away from basement. He realized how crucial this location is. And I also like this part too. Like, you notice how Snipe Down was back down towards basement when Dream Team had control of elbow. Now that they don't have control of elbow, oh, he was going for that ground pound. Just a slight missed execution, but at the same time, doing enough damage to make it worthwhile. We're going to jump on with Ares from the Dream Team.
Right, and you see what EG's doing here. They're just putting pressure on. They're trying to get Dream Team weak just to prevent them the opportunity to push across and capture any of these strongholds. Having those two strongholds already captured, EG is in the defensive mode here. All they need to do is prevent a capture.
Yeah, and you just said it perfectly. I like what EG does. They get that advantage, like they have that full step, and they press the advantage once they get. If you give them elbow, EG will take elbow. If you push up an elbow, they'll back down just that little bit towards catwalk. They will not give you an inch of breathing room when they have their full step. Just as I say that, Ares and the Dream Team squad are going for a triple cap.
Right, and there was some great shots out of Ares there as well on Lunchbox. This is the first time we've seen Dream Team have any kind of real control here, but as quickly as they got it, they've lost it as well as far as BR Tower is concerned. They do have basement though. They need to get control of this nest, and EG main goal right now is to prevent them from grabbing it.
Okay, so when this team, like for example, in a situation like this where Ares and the Dream Team squad have basement and nest, which side do you prioritize, or is it just whichever side you can break through on?
It's going to be whatever side you can break through on. With the rig, there's not a whole lot of options and routes that you can take there. You need to be making sure whatever route you do take, you're doing it with your team.
And it looks like Snipe Down and this EG squad broke through, got control of Nest, and are also capturing basement. One thing I've noticed from Snipe Down many times when he has camo over towards Nest is he'll jump up on that little stronghold spot, jump up on the side ledge, and here's the EG pressing their advantage. Look at this. They have outside, they have Nest, and they are not letting Ares and the Dream Team squad capture the BR base.
Right, and you saw Dream Team, they almost had that BR base captured. It was over 3/4 of the way done, and EG, rather than letting them have it, actually pushed in, got a couple kills, reset that hill, and they're making them start all over again.
And they also just did that rotational move that we've seen over and over from Snipe Down's POV. He pushes in, gets killed towards BR base, then pushes back, blocks the carbine spawns where he currently is standing, and rotates back to basement and lays more damage. It's just kind of like this cycle. Pushes forward, does some damage, pushes back, blocks spawns, and then pushes it forward and does damage again.
Right. When your team is this good, you get to start focusing and improving on little things like the blocking spawns, the rotations together there, and that's what EG gets to do as opposed to a lot of these other teams that are still needing to focus on a lot of the basics.
So we are on board right now with Lunchbox, a player that you and I have both had the privilege of teaming with in the past. Tell me what makes Lunchbox such a good player.
All he wants to do is win, and he's going to do anything that it takes to do that. Whether or not he needs to pick up a bunch of kills, grab a lot of flags, whether or not he needs to be in that booth screaming at the top of his lungs, he's going to do whatever he thinks is going to help the team to win.
Yes, he is an absolutely motivated player. I think you said it best when you were doing an interview yesterday. You said he's literally one of the nicest guys out there. He truly is. Him and his brother Roy are two of the nicest players in the scene, and we can't get enough of those players in the scene.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're so lucky to even have them here competing and whatnot. They've been around their original 5K days where they were teaming with Fear itself and Hokum. So, just two great and incredible players that do whatever it takes to win, and their careers and history show that.
So I thought that Dream Team was all out of this at one point. We saw that EG had 84 seconds, had outside/nest taken over. However, we were on with Jesse, who got double kill, had camo, and helped take it over. But it just seems like seems like this Dream Team squad can't hold a full set the same way that EG can.
Right.
What are they doing wrong?
I mean, we've seen this earlier in the day as well. Like, teams are able to push through finally and grab control and take advantage of those strongholds, but as quickly as they got them, they end up losing them. Their defensive positions and teamwork in order to prevent the aggression from EG just isn't there.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint the exact moment because it just seems like they don't have a very strong full setup. It seems like the members of Dream Team are just getting picked off when they have this full setup. When you are outside/nest, you should be able to be in a strong position where you can deal some damage and back down and stay alive. The most important part is that latter part, is the backing down and staying alive. You don't have to worry about getting killed as much as you have to as backing down. And Lunchbox on your screen almost getting that double kill. And what did I say before when they have control? Backing down and staying alive.
Yeah, that was some great strategy that we just saw from EG there. They put 2 guys in the BR base, started capturing the hill quickly, and they let basement go and just focused on keeping them out of nest. They knew as long as they held them out of nest for the next 15 seconds or so, they will end up winning that game.
And that is a statement of a score. 100-14. Closing out the match in 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Trying to take a look at the stat screen here, and almost every member of EG going positive, with commonly only going -2, but at the same time, having 10 assists.
Right, and I actually really like seeing that out of this game because we're seeing that Lunchbox and Roy, they know what has happened, and they're out for blood here. They want gold medal, but they also want revenge, and that's going to be revenge on Lethal for leaving. Commonly, on the other hand, coming in, doesn't have a lot of land, tournament experience here, especially at the highest level. Might have a little bit of nerves, just getting him out of the way early here, and definitely expect to see bigger things from him.
But you and I are both players, too, that realize the stat screen does not show everything. Of course, now with different stats that Halo 5 does show, it is more telling when you see certain stats like damage dealt and perfect kills and all those great stats that they've added into Halo 5 Guardians. However, you can never quantify every single part of the score. I've had plenty of games where I go -5 and I feel like I played the game near perfect.
Right. And I know you have a lot of those, Dave, as well. So, but going in and just taking a look at what we have going on there, even though that was kind of a blowout, I did like to see that they were able to at least break the setup several times during that game, where it wasn't able to work out for them on Stronghold. You could definitely see that working better right here in like a Slayer game.
Yeah, for the time that Dream Team spent outside, I am completely baffled as to how they only have 14 seconds. It seems like they were outside quite a bit more than the score shows. But up next, we got Plaza Slayer, followed by Truth CTF, and if necessary, Eden Strongholds and Regret Slayer.
Absolutely. Here in Plaza Slayer, we saw some dominating performances on this map earlier. We saw complete blowouts where they're not even breaking halfway through the kills. So definitely hoping good things here for Prototype and Ares and all of the crew. But as far as experience goes and what we've seen out of this tournament so far, it wouldn't surprise me to see another big blowout here by EG.
Yeah, so Elamite and myself have both said that we heavily favor EG to win this matchup, but we want to hear what you think. We have the hashtags down below where you can do hashtag Halo WC along with the team name. So hashtag EG or hashtag Dream Team. And that poll is surprising to me so far. 57 to 43%, especially after that first game score. I think we could possibly see some sort of reversal or at least a more lopsided percentage here after that first game.
Right. I honestly kind of want to take these stats over to Dream Team and let them look at it and see what their level of confidence is going into this game after what they just went through.
Well, maybe that last game, Dream Team was just polling every single time, just tweeting instead of playing. Who knows? We're going to have to see what Dream Team can bring this back because it is a really tough situation to be in. You're going against EG, one of the best teams that we've seen in the most recent years, and there we see the polls just starting to lopside there. Evil Geniuses 72% favored. But I wanted to ask you, if you're in Dream Team's shoes, you're Ares or Jesse, what do you say to your team right now?
You need to just tell them to forget about that first game here. We're going in, and this is a best-of-5 series as well, so they need to make sure that they come out. It's so much different going into Game 3 with a series tied 1-1 as it is going in down 2-0.
Yeah, and you can always reverse the series, change the momentum at any time, but EG is one of those squads that are not going to give that up easily. So when we jump into this next game, obviously Plaza, the Slayer on Plaza, we have a few focal points. We have the Overshield in top center, we have the Sniper over at Cinema, and we do have the Shotgun. So what what are your main focal points when you start off at this game?
Absolutely, it's going to be the first rush for OS and then focusing on grabbing controller at snipe. We've seen what teams like Allegiance were able to do with the sniper rifle, where they can completely change their entire playstyle and focus it around one player, which what we've seen was Naded, and allowing him to just move around and do whatever he wants.
Yep, and we're on snipe down right now, and I do have to correct myself. I said shotgun, I meant Hydra over there. I make mistakes every once in a while, but we see snipe down heading towards his favorite weapon, the sniper rifle. And do you think Roy drops this right now, or do you think they first focus on getting in a safer position?
You definitely want to see him getting in a safer position. What was really unique is this was an extremely late overshield. You have overshield in the hand of Tire Iron, but that was a good 20 seconds before that, or 15 to 20 seconds.
He still has half his overshield. That's surprising. It seems like EG would be a disciplined team enough to say, guess what, we at least got to get melee. We at least need to get some shots on it so that overshield does not play an effect on this next push. But we see Snipe Down and the squad over here in Yard just trying to get away, trying to get some sort of step, because they realize, guess what, we have the sniper. If we slow this down, we can pull ahead.
Right, and as we just saw, there were 3 members of EG in the Yard right there, and they ended up all going down. We've got a quick early lead here for Dream Team, up 7-4. One interesting thing I wanted to point out as well is, although Overshield is extremely powerful, you can also kill the Overshield guy pretty quickly. You have weapons on the map like Storm Rifle, you have the Plasma Pistol, one Plasma Pistol shot, and that OS is completely negated.
That's absolutely true. It's one of those things that it's, I don't know, we used to call it like a get-out-of-nade free card back when I used to compete, because sometimes you'd have Overshield and you don't hesitate about going around the corner. You're like, I got Overshield, what do I have to be worried about? And every single time you run into a grenade, it's like, well, thankfully I had Overshield. That could have been really bad.
Right, and we see Ares here, as we were talking about before. He's up at 4 kills right now. He's already got half of his team's kills.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job staying alive. And this is something that we did not see on that rig game right before. It just seemed like all these members of Dream Team are trying to challenge every fight to the death. They don't seem to have the confidence in their teammates to either stay alive or to finish the kills that they started.
Right, and it definitely looks like we're seeing a completely different Dream Team than we did see last game in that Strongholds. Whether or not it was just EG being so good at that game type that they were able to capitalize on it, or if it's just them coming out, Dream Team coming out and forgetting about that last game and saying, these guys die in 5 shots just like we do.
One thing that's terrifying right now is that EG just got 2 kills. They have control top center, and Overshield has to be coming up any moment right now. They are primed not only to get this Overshield, but to grab the sniper rifle that spawns in 30 seconds from now.
Right, that was a real bad timing here for Dream Team and for those members to go down. Although,
how did Ares slip away with that? I don't know where he jumped from. I think he came from bomb center somewhere, somehow snuck, grabbed the Overshield, and is now in a commanding position to help get control of the sniper rifle.
Right, I was looking around at some of EG's screens here to see what they were doing and why that Overshield hadn't been grabbed yet. There were players on posters and on the stairs literally 10 to 15 feet away from that Overshield.
This is a completely different EG and a completely different Dream Team right now. EG beforehand were on top of every power-up. They were grabbing camo when it was available. They were grabbing scatter shots as soon as it came up. Now, we saw EG having complete control of top center, and no one was near Overshield. Ares was able to slip in and grab it. And not only that, is Tire Iron has the sniper rifle.
Right, and there was just a great shot from him, a quick scope headshot out of him, bringing that score closer. You do see, generally, Dream Team, this is the area that you generally want to have as far as control goes, even though they are down. You're going to get a lot more opportunities being on this half of the map as opposed to Yard and the other side.
Yeah, now, when you have sniper rifle on this map, where do you like to be? Do you think that was a bad play by pushing out that far for Tire Iron?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely pushed out too far there. You don't want to lose that sniper rifle. If anything, you would want to see more of his teammates coming over to help him work on a rotation or get out of trouble there. But unfortunately, it did not work out, and he ended up losing that.
Yeah, it just seemed like a situation, like anytime I have sniper rifle, I think the best spot is either Cafe, where you see Snipe Down out currently, or the sniper spawn itself, because you can just shut down so many angles cross map. And it seems like a position like Bomb Center should be a spot that you leave to your teammates. They need to worry about finishing kills down there.
Right, but what we are seeing here is they're closing this gap back down. They're only down by 3 kills right now, and like we discussed, they have the side of the map that you generally want to have in this map.
Now, most importantly, this time, Dream Team has control of top center. We've seen them get control of Overshield without having control of top center, so I most likely expect to see a Dream Team Overshield coming up here in a second.
And you saw some players just jumping for that. Now, I can't tell if that was actually burned here.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really tough. I believe, seeing how no members of EG are focused on top center anymore, it was burned. And by burn, we mean a player grabs the overshield and is killed instantly before it actually takes effect. So in essence, you're taking the overshield and just saying, nope, if I can't have it, no one can.
Right, and sometimes that's the best play that you can do with your team. That was probably what Ares was trying to do when he got that last overshield, but he just didn't die with it and was able to use it. What we saw out of EG here is Roy, I think it was Roy, jumped over, went directly for that overshield, and was taken out.
And look at Evil Geniuses executing two of their strategies. I was going to say give Snipedown that breathing room, but great flank by Tire Iron right there, taking out Snipedown. Because when we saw them slow down the pace of the game there, where Snipedown had sniped, you saw him just ripping off faces. And I just saw an incredible, perfect kill right there from Jesse Peace himself. Let's jump on board with him.
Right, and I was actually just watching that as well. That was a great thrust. That was great evading and great shooting to get that perfect. You'll see, like, lots of players, not every player has the same kind of thrusting ability. Whether or not you want to thrust forward, backwards, or to the side, that's a decision you need to make in the fight. And a lot of players, they just don't choose the right one.
One thing I noticed about Jesse Peace when I used to land against him back in 2008, 2009 is he had great vertical movement. By that, I mean he would take advantage of players who are going up lifts or on the downfall and know exactly how to manipulate that by, you know, jumping as the person's falling or the reverse of that. We saw Jesse being taken down. We're going to jump on with commonly the newest member of EG and see what he can do with this sniper rifle.
Right now, he does only have one headshot or one shot left in the sniper. Dave, what do you think it's going to be?
Well, I think you already said what it's going to be. It's going to be a headshot. We're just going to have to see who it's going to be on.
All right. And as we do see a quick no-scope. I do like the attempt. It looked pretty good, but we actually have another sniper here in the hands of Roy as well.
Yeah, just EG controlling the pace of the game. When they have members of Dream Team weak, they push in, get those finishes, as we saw 3 members in the kill feed go down just a second ago. And not only that, we have Snipedown with Overshield pushing on up. We're going to see what he's going to do in the situation to see if he can draw players out for Roy to pick off.
Right, and just to highlight one more time on the areas of the map you want to control, we saw EG when they had Yard and generally considered the side you don't want to have, they were able to still maintain a lead. Now that they've gotten control of Sniper, they've actually been able to build a huge lead coming up here.
Yeah, the most surprising part to me, like you said, is they were kind of down. It just seemed like Dream Team definitely were getting the better of EG early on, but somehow that wasn't reflected on the scoreboard. It just seems like if I had to pinpoint one major mistake that Dream Team are doing, is they aren't staying alive. Now, that sounds pretty obvious. However, when Elamite and myself say something like stay alive, it means make the opponent have to work as hard as possible for the kill. There's going to be plenty of times where death is inevitable and you can't avoid it. However, you can make that player have to waste a grenade, have to run around the corner and spend 2 or 3 other seconds trying to kill you, and that's valuable time that you buy for your team to help you out.
Right, there is a damage dealt stat in this game, but what there is not is a damage received stat. So if you're constantly behind your teammates or considered baiting them, you're generally not going to be getting shot as much. You'll have a lot of kills and you'll have great looking stats.
One of my favorite medals in Halo 5 is the distraction medal. That's one of the situations where you're taking damage from an opponent and you end up not dying, and that person who was shooting you ends up being killed. And it's one of those things that's like, wow, you were distracting that person completely, and Halo 5 now rewards you for that. I'm very happy. I wish we had some of those back in the day, because I know in Halo 2 it was like, come on, Oak 2, finish him off, kill him, Tom or Dan, and I would get no credit for that. No assist, nothing, just to death.
Right, and as we just saw from Tire Iron here, just want to point out real quick, he just had a great play, a great heads-up play. He was in a one-on-one fight with Roy at Light Rifle, ends up shooting the explosive barrel there and getting the kill that way.
Yeah, and I believe we just saw another burned OS from, it was Prototype or Jesse, and it just seems like this Dream Team squad is on top of these overshields this game. Even when EG has control of the center of the map, somehow Dream Team's able to sneak in, get a burn on the OS, or sometimes even run away with it, like we saw Ares earlier in the match.
Right, and Ares is top center right now, but is unfortunately taken out as well. We do have EG sitting at 49 kills. A map like Plaza, although it's always possible for a comeback, generally not one you see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are technically possible, but I cannot see EG not closing this out, and we see commonly finishing off that last kill with SMG.
Right,
so 50-41 in the favor of Evil Geniuses.
And, after watching that, I'm still confused right now on, like, the game was close, was it not close? Where did they slow it down a little bit. It's almost hard to tell with that pace because I did see a lot of things I liked out of Dream Team.
It was a very unorthodox game of Plaza Slayer because let's actually take a look at the stats before we go too far into it. Commonly, the player in EG who had the least amount of kills last game, now leading the squad with 15 kills and 10 deaths.
Right, and that's great play out of him. You have Commonly and the Lunchbox both +5, and you see Snipedown and Roy, being just about even there, but they do carry a little bit more assists than their teammates here.
But yeah, I just want to recap that last game. It was incredibly surprising to me just to see where the sniper was at the majority of the game. For the first time, I think, in a month, I've seen the sniper actually over in Yard when Evil Geniuses were running away to Cafe and eventually ran over towards Yard. It's one of those things like, wait, sniper doesn't belong there. Like, no one ever really takes over that location unless you completely lost your grip on the top middle area. And on your screen right there, we have Ares, who is obviously a little flustered. I mean, they had that game in their hands. They could have won it, but they have to claw their way back into the series and take it game by game.
Right, they were really in that game the entire time. They did have the largest lead was right towards the little past midway through the game, but they ended up closing it down a little bit more towards the end as well. So great start, great ending for them. Just weren't able to capitalize in between.
Yep. So let's do a quick recap of the series. We saw EG taking the first and second games 100 to 14 seconds and 50 to 41 respectively. Third game coming up is Truth Capture the Flag.
Right, and these games are getting closer now, Dave. The first one, obviously, 114. Nobody wants to see that.
No one likes to see that. Sometimes, actually, that is a better situation than having a close game like 199 because that is just a heartbreaker. It's a roller coaster of emotions when you're so close to that victory and it's just snatched away.
Right, and that's that kind of falls into momentum. Like a lot of people don't realize here is this is a hugely momentum-focused game where if you start off well, you may very well continue throughout the entire game and just put on a dominating performance like 100 to 14. Good, losing 100 to 99, that's the worst way to go out. It's an extremely long game. These players in the game are constantly thinking and trying their hardest. It's extremely mentally exhausting. When you have a long series like this, sometimes it's best, if it's 99 to 15 and you just don't think you're going to be the team to bring that back and win it, just let the game go and start focusing on the next one.
Well, when we last looked at our Twitter poll, it was 72% in favor of Evil Geniuses. That has gone even further to now 81% of you out there that are tweeting hashtag HaloWC and hashtag ESG.
Right, and this is kind of, more like what we'd expect to see out of an Evil Genius is at that, minimum of 80% for confidence level on winning. It's going to be really interesting to see, or what I can't wait to see after these third games is some of these polls going forward when you've got like the allegiances and the CLGs all matching up.
Especially the people that flip-flop. It's going to be like, all right, after the first game, we saw, EG had, now EG lost 2 games. All right, I'm doing hashtag Dream Team now. So it'll be interesting to see what these squads, or what the Twitter viewers at home will be posting all weekend long.
I don't know what you mean, Dave. That does not happen in the Halo community.
Now tell us a little bit about Truth right here. One of the staples of Halo.
Right, and I think Bravo put it really well earlier. He said it is a spiritual remake of Midship.
Spiritual remake. The best adjective possible to describe it. We're going to jump on right now with Commonly, the newest member of Evil Geniuses. He was brought over from Renegades, who had a great showing. They actually took out EG, and that could have had an effect on EG picking Commonly up.
And can we just make a quick comment on what Prototype was just able to do there? He went the car one route, picked up the plasma pistol, lifted up, actually hit that plasma pistol shot with the switching weapons to shoot with the pistol, picking up that quick kill. That's actually a pretty hard shot to hit when you're lifting up that car ledge. I would definitely want to be the guy car 2 as opposed to the guy lifting in that scenario.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that showcases Prototype's skill and how great of a shot he has when he's able to win situations like that at arguable disadvantage.
Right, and you see Commonly was just looking at another plasma pistol shot there. Prototype still had that from the start of the game, almost a full minute hanging onto that plasma pistol.
Yeah, so let's take a look over at Prototype and see what he can do to help his Dream Team squad get back in the series, because if it's going at the pace it's at right now, we could see an EG 3-0.
Right, we definitely could, although you definitely see a lot in the Halo scene as well. 3-0 comebacks after being down 2-0. So that's
the reverse
something
sweeps.
we see. The reverse sweeps, and being on the receiving end of that, it's definitely
you don't like to see it happen, do you? But amazing shots by Prototype. Another one of my favorite medals in Halo, the perfect kill, meaning Prototype hit 4 perfect shots, did not miss a single bullet, and took out Roy.
Right, and that is, I'll agree with you on that. That is my favorite medal as well. It's the times you realize whether or not you're playing online or in a live event scenario like this, you know you're doing everything you possibly can, and you shot that gun the best of your ability, or anybody's ability anyway.
Absolutely. Now, I see both these squads, they seem to have different strategies. It seems like Dream Team has members over at pink side and seem to be focusing on that heavily. Whereas it seems like EG's kind of split. It seems like they're going for pink and carbine. On this map / game type, do you feel like you have to focus on just one side?
You know what? I feel like both sides actually work, and you'll see, like we're saying right now, teams just have their own individual preferences there. I like the pink side control opposed to car, but
and you're seeing it right now. One of the advantages to holding pink side as Tire Iron grabs the camo at 9:45, which means the camo's going to spawn 2 minutes later at 7:45.
Right, and that's exactly why you definitely want to be hanging on to peak there for a good amount of the game, and then it's grabbing these camos. We saw how short some of these games can be. There are times we'll see only 1 or 2 camos in the entire game.
Do you feel like he's making great use of this camo so far? I guess when I think of camo, I think of it as a much more offensive power-up, that he should be in the opposing base rather than clearing out his own base, right?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, you'll definitely want to get behind the opposing team as fast as possible. I mean, that's what camo gives you the ability to do, is just run by people. Hopefully they don't catch a glimpse of you there. Tire Iron, I definitely am going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, see what he has in mind and in store with his team and what they've kind of set up here. But that camo is, he really didn't get much done with it.
Yeah, the most surprising part to me is I don't think I saw him cross the 50-yard line, like maybe for that split second when he killed Roy over towards Bubble, but by no means was he a threat at all to the Evil Genius's flag.
Right, and now we were talking about the Plaza pistol earlier in this game and what Prototype was able to do with it. Now we have it in the hands of Snipedown, and he's going to try to lock down their bubble right now and prevent the spawns, but he rotates just a second late, actually gets spawned on and taken out.
And here's the surprising part to me. Once again, EG collapsing from both sides. They tried to have 2 members over at Carbine side, which was Commonly and Snipedown, and the twin brothers, Roy and Lunchbox, pushing from pink side. Lunchbox getting double kill with Storm Rifle, run the flag towards pink 1.
Yeah, and some great things out of Lunchbox there on that rotation, but what we expect out of EG is we expect perfection. The amount of tournaments they've won, and taking a look at them right now, they definitely have a lot of things that they're going to need to work on and improve upon before they go up against the likes of a CLG.
And that was scary for a second, and very unorthodox by Evil Geniuses, not only barely getting the flag cap, but allowing a possible counter cap. EGs use a very disciplined squad that when they bring the flag back, they make sure to get the slays. But because of their carelessness, it looks like Prototype and the Dream Team squad might be able to cap it. No! Flag pulled by Lunchbox from Evil Geniuses.
Right, and that was a great play by Lunchbox. Did you see how fast he just ran in, slid, grabbed that flag, and dropped below the base? A fantastic play by him.
Absolutely, doing everything he needs. Snipe down, trying to keep that flag alive. Looks like Commonly is the only player that has a chance at stopping this, but I think this flag is definitely gone.
Right, and especially from in this scenario, in this kind of matchup, when you have a Dream Team versus an EG, or you have the Titan House of an EG going up against a newer team, counter caps are not what you want to see.
I want to point out again, looks like EG is trying their double prong attack. They have Commonly blocking the Carbine spawns. They had 2 members pushing from pink side, and they are wisely running the flag towards Carbine because Commonly is blocking those bubble spawns.
And some amazing plays out of Commonly here. He stuck someone that lifted up the lift, had a bunch of damage, and another plasma nade down on the pink 1 guy who I believe cleaned up himself as well, and then picked up a triple kill with some great pistol shots on the guy on flag.
And that's Roy putting in the second flag for Evil Geniuses. Commonly on your screen, going on with a killing spree. But I have to think, if Commonly didn't get that triple kill and get so clutch with the shots, would EG have even gotten that capture?
I don't think they would have. We see Commonly knows this game extremely well, where he was able to be below the base. Of course, he does have radar. He's taking a look at a few things there, but he had perfect nades, knew exactly what he needed to do in order to capitalize. Now we're watching Snipedown start pushing in the side of the base. This is a 2-1 lead, but we still got 6 minutes left.
All right, the thing we talked about earlier was Dream Team not staying alive enough. And you notice how Aries jumped out and challenged that position where he was trying to kill Roy and Snipedown had the backup there. Those are the situations that Elamite and myself are highlighting and talking about where Dream Team needs to be staying alive.
Right, absolutely here. Now they really, really need to get EG out of their base. They have no control right now. The last thing you want to see when you're playing True Flag is knowing a guy's hiding below your base.
Now we have Camo in the hands of Snipedown. Let's see how differently he uses this compared to Tyran. I expect Snipedown to be extremely aggressive, and what a great jump by Snipedown. Abusing the mechanics of the thruster pack, jumping off pink 1, using that angle, and getting all the way towards top center.
Right, and you can see, you know, how this game is starting to evolve from when it first launched and how this tournament's going to play out as opposed to some of the earlier online qualifiers.
And look at the difference in Snipedown and the EG strategy when they have a power weapon. There's a member of Dream Team over at Snipedown's base, but he's more concerned about getting this flagpole. Does some great damage, cleaned up by Roy, and looks like Roy's going to take the flag wisely. That is a great, I guess you want to say like rotation or fill-in kind of position, because Roy realized Snipedown has camo, and guess what? He's going to do work with it, getting a almost triple kill and going to help escort Roy for the third and final flag cap.
Right, if Roy had not rotated and helped him out there, there's a good chance Snipedown would not have picked up those 3 kills right at the end, and if this game might still be going on, we could be looking at an overtime later, but what we do see is great plays, great instincts out of the twins, and you see Roy picking up, knowing what Snipedown is capable of, and knowing, hey, you've got this, I'll take the flag, you do your thing, and we'll win this game.
And no surprise when we look at the scores, the stat screen here, Snipedown for Evil Geniuses, the most amount of kills, 17 kills, 12 deaths. However, Jesse likewise needs to be highlighted. 19 kills that game. It was very tough to tell. We obviously did not give him enough screen time for how many kills he was getting.
Right, absolutely here. And you see kind of like that Jesse-Aries combo going on right now. You've got Aries with 12 assists and Jesse with the 19 kills there. And that was the most kills in the game. He outslayed EG there, although you did have 11 assists as well out of the 16 kills coming out from EG.
Yeah, just EG playing very well, making few mistakes. However, some of the few mistakes that we did see were greatly capitalized by Dream Team, such as their counter cap. The series you see right here is over. EG winning 3-0. You can see the scores on your screen, 100-14, 50-41, and that last game, Truth CTF, 3-1 victory for Evil Geniuses.
All right, we do need to point out right now, though, that Dream Team isn't a team you can overlook. Like, these are talented players. We saw some great things out of Tire Iron, out of Aries, as well as out of Jesse, especially out of that last game. When they're getting kind of trapped in their base and almost dominated like that, to have someone performing that well is nice to see. Good confidence booster going forward here.
I felt like the reason Dream Team had stayed in a lot of these matches is because they were playing well and doing some clutch plays. However, I feel like what kind of actually got them out of this match was they weren't staying alive. They never really allowed EG to make any mistakes. The one mistake we did see EG make when they brought the flag back a little too carelessly, they capitalized on. I got the counter cap. However, multiple times we'd see members of Dream Team just jumping out and challenging. They'd get, one shot each, like you saw Aries get Roy to one shot. Aries jumps out. Guess what? Roy's not there. There's a full shield Snipedown there to finish him off.
Right, and just great plays like that. Basically, we saw commonly with a really, really nice triple kill with almost like a random stick as well. Always nice when you throw one of those in. Great plays out of Snipedown to secure that cap at the end, and Roy grabbing it. 4 great individual players, the EG lineup. This really wasn't anything that we didn't expect coming out of this series. You have just the likes of some of those powerhouse teams, and really interested to see, who's going to be matching up well now.
Yeah, and I think one last piece to highlight before we throw it over is the fact that EG, it wasn't pure flashy plays. Yes, we did see some sweet triple kills like we saw the commonly triple kill. However, it wasn't like EG was winning because they were hitting amazing no-scopes. They were playing as a well-oiled machine, making so few mistakes, making so few errors, and just working as a team. Now, I want to hear from one of the members themselves, so we're going to toss it over to Benson, who has an interview. Take it away, Benson.
Thanks, guys. Down here on the floor with Commonly. First of all, congratulations on that win. But I have to ask you, how does it feel playing Halo 5 here at the X Games in Aspen?
It's honestly pretty crazy. I never expected Halo to even, come back from what it was, but it's pretty exciting playing here.
Of course, at the X Games as well. Are you going to be checking out any of the stuff, any of the other sports here?
Yeah, 100%. Depending on what happens, but I'll definitely be checking it out.
Depending on what happens. Assuming you're going to, do pretty well, of course. I've got to ask you as well, one of the big things that myself and Bravo were touching on, myself and Walshy were touching on is, now playing for Evil Geniuses, you got some big boots to fill, of course, the new 4th in the squad. How are you finding things? How's adapting?
At first, I was really nervous. I've looked up to these guys forever, and playing with them was pretty nerve-wracking, but the more we play, the more comfortable I get, and I think it's going to be good.
Of course, you're replacing Lethal's spot, and Lethal just so happens to be in your group as well. So knowing that you and CLG have already played, especially in the fifth online qualifier, how do you see that game going on now on a LAN environment?
I think we're going to just 3-0 sweep them. Frosty, we're both 18. We're both on top teams, but I think I'm just better than them. So,
wow, you're just better than him. Some nice trash talk, but congratulations on your win once again, and good luck in the rest of the tournament. That's going to do it for myself and Commonly. Back over to Elamite and Walsh to close out the day.
Commonly is confident.
I love that. That was a great line. I love to see the confidence out of him. I know that this is a grudge match on every sense, every level of the term. You've got Commonly going up against Frosty. You've got the lethal bad blood with CLG. You've got so much going on here right now, and just arguably 8 of the best players in the game.
And I truly do like that confidence. Like, sometimes it's one thing whether you say it or not, but every team here should have the mindset that we are going to win this event. Guess what? We go against this team, we have the ability to 3-0 them. Of course, you always adapt as things go. If team wins a game on you, it's like, all right, well, whatever. That happens. We're playing against top squads. But you take it game by game. You have to have pure confidence in your team's ability.
Absolutely, and that is very well said. You have to consider yourself the best player in the game. You have to consider your team the best team in the game. You have to know that it's still any given Sunday. One, you need to be wary of other teams and never overlook anybody. But if you're on a team that's maybe not ranked the highest, you can absolutely come over and have a huge upset.
So we saw 4 great matches today, Elamite. Let's do a quick recap of the pools and see where everyone stands. So in Pool A, we are looking at Allegiance, Renegades, Team Liquid, and Epsilon. We, of course, saw Allegiance 3-0 Epsilon and Renegades 3-0 Team Liquid. Have we seen a Game 4 yet today? I don't think we have. Every match has been 3-0s.
Wow, I think, that is a really good point. We have not seen a Game 4. I definitely expected to see a little bit more Game 4s or even some Game 5s here today.
Especially that Renegades Team Liquid match. That was what I was going to consider a Game 5 nail-biter. I did not expect Renegades to win in that convincing of a fashion.
Right, yeah, definitely some things that Liquid's going to have to work on here. Definitely some gameplay to review. Something I'll be taking a look at with the guys as well, I'm sure, going forward. But definitely expect to see a different kind of Team Liquid here coming the rest of this weekend.
Absolutely. It's still pool play, still a chance to bounce back, but not that much room for error anymore. They can't lose another series. They're very unlikely to make out pool play. Let's take a look at Pool B and see what the standings are and see the players in each squad. So we're looking at CLG, Evil Geniuses, Dream Team, and Penta Sports. CLG 3-0 Penta Sports and EG 3-0 Dream Team.
Right, and although the CLG Penta Sports was, a little bit more, of a convincing victory than the Evil Geniuses versus Dream Team, I think a lot of that falls onto Penta Sports, and they're kind of, flustered, not as confident, not used to this kind of environment, and it might have definitely affected them in the game.
And every squad matches up differently. Those scores aren't always telling. Yes, of course, it is a great indicator when you see a squad win in a convincing fashion, like 100-14. But that it does not mean that they're going to just destroy CLG when they play them on a Stronghold's rig or anything like that.
Right, and the other thing to bring up is you can play the same game type 5 times in a row, and you're not going to win it all 5 times. Like, those teams can split those game types, so sometimes it's whoever woke up on the better side of the bed in the morning, and other times it's who put the most practice in between events. So there can be a lot of variation when you come to these things.
So we've looked at Pool A and Pool B. Let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow and see what kind of great matches we have coming up, because we got to see 4 matches today. Friday, we can see all the remaining group matches. I have not done the math on that yet, but I would assume that's 8 matches. Does that sound about right? So yeah, we have 8 matches, twice as many tomorrow, and by the end of tomorrow, we're going to have the 8 teams that are going to be going towards the single elimination bracket for Saturday.
Right.
So let's take a look at the actual matches we have coming up for tomorrow on Friday, when we get a chance to pull it up. And here we are. Great matches right off the bat with Renegades versus Epsilon at 12:30. I believe it's Mountain Time out here. I don't know my exact time zone. Followed by Dream Team and Penta Sports, Allegiance versus Team Liquid, and Evil Geniuses versus CLG, just to wrap up the first half of the day. Tell me about the second half.
Right, and that's a pretty exciting lineup there to take a look at. The second half, we have the Team Liquid then going up against Epsilon, Evil Geniuses up against Penta Sports, Team Allegiance versus Renegades, which is one I'm personally looking forward to as well. And then wrapping it up, we have CLG versus Stream Team.
So great matches all around. At the end of tomorrow, as we said before, we are going to end up with just 8 teams in a single elimination bracket that will start playing on Saturday. So it is going to be crazy matches all tomorrow. Tournament life's at stake.
Right, and one thing I can assure you as well is we're probably going to see a Game 4 tomorrow, as well as some Game 5. So.
I hope so. I truly hope so.
The CLG-EG matchup, the Allegiance versus Team Renegades. There's just so many big matches coming up. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow as well.
Just 2 days away from crowning somebody with Halo gold medal, like at the X Games. It's crazy to think that you can get a gold medal at the X Games for playing Halo now. I never envisioned that 12, 14 years ago. And it still blows my mind, and I'm incredibly envious of a lot of the players here today.
Oh, absolutely. Just so much fun to see these players coming out to these events, getting to participate and interact with everyone else here at the X Games as well. The esports community's been growing so much with all the different titles that they have, and it's great to see Halo, really revamped with Halo 5 and just being fantastic to watch, to play, and for the players to compete.
Well, we want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in today. We have 8 great matches for you tomorrow. Make sure you tune in immediately. Tweet out to your friends. We're here at Aspen for the Halo X Games. And we start at noon Mountain Time, so we'll see you all there. Thank you all, and have a great night.